Alright, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. Alright. Got this article right here. Policeman shoots dead 2 Israelis at Egyptian tourist site in Alexandria, local media. The suspected shooter was arrested and taken into custody, according to Extra News, an Egyptian news channel which has close ties to the country's security agencies. A policeman has shot dead 2 Israeli tourists and another person at an Egyptian tourist site in Alexandria, according to media in the country. The incident took place at the Pompeii's Pillar site in Alexandria. The suspected shooter was arrested and taken into custody, according to Extra News television channel, which has close ties to Egyptian security agencies. Israel's Zaka Rescue Service also reported 2 people had been killed in Alexandria. The site was sealed off following the shooting. It comes as the Israeli military continues to fight Palestinian militants from Hamas after they launched an attack across the border from Gaza on Saturday morning. Some 350 Israelis have been killed, according to Israeli media, in the deadliest attack on the country in decades, while the health ministry said at least 1,590 people have been injured. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Health Ministry said on Saturday morning that at least 313 people had died, including 20 children, and nearly 2,000 wounded in Israel's retaliatory airstrikes on Gaza, with 7 people, including a child, killed by Israeli army fire in the West Bank. And I got some scriptures on this. And I got actually a Twitter post I'm gonna bring out, and if true, which it could very well be, it looks like Esau may have set this up, you know. Esau being the so-called white man, and that includes the so-called J to the E to the W's, man. That includes them, man. The so-called Israelis who are actually not, which Israeli just means inhabitants of the land of Israel. It does not make them Israelites. But they are actually Edomites from the tribe of Amalek, when you look into it. So, this is what I'm going to do. And the Most High, Yahweh, has a huge beef with Amalek. Because what they did to our people crossing the border. Wait, Salakia. What they did to our people on our way to the Holy Land. The Most High Yahweh got a huge beef with Amalek. I'm actually going to read the account. Exodus 17 and 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel at Rephidim. Verse 9. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us now men and go out fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the rod of the Most High Power Yahweh in my hand. Verse 10, so Joshua did as Moses had said to him and followed Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went at the top, up to the top of the hill. Verse 11, and it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. Verse 12, when Moses' hands were heavy, and he took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. Verse 13, and Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Verse 14, and Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in the book and rehearse it. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Verse 15, and Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh, really it's Yahweh Nasa, as the brother brought out. Verse 16, for he said, because Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai has sworn that Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. It says from generation to generation. So from generation to generation, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai gonna have war with Amalek. And what have you had ever since those 1948ers came into the land? What have you had? War. War. Showing you that they're not the people of the Lord, because is this it? Con. Jeremiah 30:10. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither thou be dismayed, O Israel, O saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So what's going to happen when the real Israelites get saved from the land of their captivity? Jacob shall return and be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So that's a straight cut to that, man. There's been wars and wars, and by who they call terrorists, right? So they're being terrorized. So that would be a blatant contradiction of this scripture, showing you that they're not the people, and instead that's the Most High Yahweh making war with Amalek from generation to generation. But I got another I got another. I got a post actually on Twitter, now called X, that I'm gonna show you. Hamas is claiming Ukraine sold them the weapons they used in the attack today against Israel. And a bunch of them are saying, prove it. They're saying, prove it. Russia told them to say it, etc., etc.
أشكر
But I
السلطات
believe it.
الأوكرانية لبيعنا هذا السلاح. إن هذا السلاح سوف نستخدمه ضدكم يا أعداء. سوف نستخدمه ضد إسرائيل.
It's in Arabic.
أشكر السلطات الأوكرانية لبيعنا هذا السلاح.
Basically, is what they're saying.
سوف نستخدمه
They're claiming
ضدكم
Ukraine
يا
sold them the
أعداء.
weapons they used
سوف
in the attack today
نستخدمه
against
ضد
Israel.
إسرائيل. أشكر السلطات
It's from
الأوكرانية
the
لبيعنا
Hamas
هذا السلاح.
Telegram channel. That's where he got it from. So like it. But let me get. Oh yeah, Obadiah 1:7, I believe, or 6. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in them. Khan. And it's like didn't wasn't there yeah, against judicial reform. Because there was a comment, I'm looking this up because there was a comment on a post. It was well, not on a post, my bad, Salakia. It was on a video, a live stream of off-grid and desert farming live that they were doing Slakia, that they were doing on the war, and someone said that Slakia, this could have somehow been orchestrated by Amalek, bro, by the 48ers, by not a Jew specifically, because he wanted to unite the people under him. Basically, when you have war, you forget all these differences. Like, it makes sense too that it could be, because you had massive protests over government judicial reform over judicial reform, man. You can't even that the judge can't strike down laws that they're passing, man. It deems to be unconstitutional. So it was a whole bunch of protests recently. There was months of turmoil. And then now you have Hamas attacking out of nowhere. Hmm. Hmm. Who would have thought? And maybe, you know, there was an order from the elites to help knotted you out by giving them guns, giving Hamas guns that the U.S. sent to Ukraine to start this offensive that they got, this surprise attack that they got going, led to this war. And war always unites countries, pretty much, especially if they were attacked. If they were attacked, the war will unite them. Slack it for that. But for that noise. But I honestly, yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was an agreed upon thing that the elites helped knotted you by arming these Hamas militants to come against them, to come against Amalek down there. It doesn't, because they've sacrificed their own people too before, you know. Even though the death numbers from the, you know, the cost, you know, they were the whole of cost. They were way lower than what they say, and those numbers were hyped up in order to get them in the land of Israel. There were still 48ers that died. Which it could have been of typhus, like people bring out, but still, you know, they know their own people. I've heard reports that they died of typhus. but it could be. But they know their own people. They know their own people. But anyways, it could be because Esau is evil to himself, and let me get that. Ultimately, Esau is evil to himself. Ecclesiastes 4 and 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Verse 6. There is none wisdom in him, he that envieth himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And if he doth good, verse 7, he doth it unwillingly, that at the last he will declare his wickedness. So it could be that, oh, yeah, it could be that, because Esau is evil to himself. So it could be that's what happened as part of a plan to check his own people. Use Hamas to check your own people. But yeah, man. And they armed them through Ukraine, yeah. Could very well be. The average 48er is like, just like they look at the average Edomite as ain't shit. Even though 48ers are given privileges that other Edomites don't have, the average 48, the average 48er is still looked at. They're still in a way looked at as 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 goyim in a way by the elites, even though they're put above the other Edomites. There's still those. It ain't nothing for them to sacrifice their own if they gotta, to push a certain agenda. But this move by them, which I think it is, could lead to World War III popping off. It could lead to it, and then eventually, after the chip gets implemented, then it goes nuclear. Because if the U.S. gets involved, then if the U.S. gets involved, then you're gonna have it. Iran get involved. You see Iran getting involved. And Iran is Russia's biggest ally. So there you have that. One of Russia's biggest allies. Biggest ally in the region. So there's a possibility of Russia getting drawn in. And that's all biblical prophecy. Iran gets drawn in. What does scripture speak of the Carmanians? Let me get that. Carmanians is just another region. I mean, it's a region of Iran, and it's another way to say Iranians. Persians, Iranians. It's another way of saying that. Ezekiel, 2nd Ezra 15 and 28. Behold a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. Verse 28. Verse 29. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth. All they which hear them may fear and tremble. Verse 30. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste the portion of the land of the Assyrians, which is ultimately Babylon. This place is spiritually known as Assyria. It's spiritual Assyria. This place, because they got the northern kingdom in captivity here as well. And they run by a people that they move like the Chaldees, man, the Edomites. And the Chaldees are Assyrians. Well, the Chaldees ran the Assyrian Empire as well, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that. They definitely ran Babylon. But yeah, man. But guess why that would happen though? America would get a portion of the land get wasted by the Carmanians, by the Iranians, because let me get it. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make the desolation habitation desolate with them. Verse 46, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. So there you have it. It's 15. Verse 30. So verse 30, also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the woods, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Verse 32. Then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. Verse 33. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and their host shall be fear, and dread and strife among their kings. Verse 34. Among clouds, behold clouds from the east, and from the north, and from the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. Verse 35, they shall smite one another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword to the belly. Verse 36, and dung of men unto the camel's hoof. Like a lot of it. Verse 37, there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth. They that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. Verse 38, and then shall there come great storms from the south, and from the north, and from another part from the west. Verse 39, and strong winds shall rise from the east, and shall open it, and the cloud which he raised up in wrath, and the stars stirred up to cause great fear towards the east and west wind, shall be destroyed. Verse 40, the great and mighty cloud shall be lifted up, full of wrath, and the star that they may all the earth afraid, and they that them that dwell therein, and they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star. These describing the nukes. Verse 41, fire and hail, fleas, swords, and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. Verse 42, and they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood, and grass of the meadows, and their corn. Verse 43, and they shall go steadfast on the Babylon, and make her afraid. Verse 44, then they shall come to her and besiege her. The star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go into the heaven, and all that they be about her shall bewail her. You know, pursuant to Revelation 18, it's like 18. Oh, I'm gonna get this. Because at the same time, the kings of the earth, they have lived deliciously with this place, man. This place is a consumer nation. It's a consumer country, the import country. Most of the shit is imported. From other countries. Revelation 18:9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, from 1 hour is thy judgment come. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. Yo. So it lines up with that, Revelation 18:9-11. Showing you again that the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures. But, yeah, man. This is how Babylon is going to be destroyed. This could be how that Third World War break out. If it if it stays and gets faster and gets worse, and the U.S. gets involved. Could see Iran get involved directly. Then the U.S. versus Iran, right? That shit would get serious real quick. Would escalate really fast, and then you would have Russia coming to defense of Iran. That's Ezekiel 38, 1 down to 7. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, Yahweh Shemi came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Verse 5, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Verse 6, Gomer and all his bands, and also took Gomer of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Verse 7, Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company which are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So that coalition, Persia's in there, Ethiopia's in there, Libya's in there, and Gomer and all his bands. Gomer's Turkey. The people of Gomer, the actual descendants of Gomer used to live there in Turkey. Gomer is Turkey. And you see there was shit popping off between the US and Turkey and Syria. So it looks like Turkey is going to join the side of Russia. And then you're going to have the NATO allies jump in, and because they're going to be dragged into it as well. The US and NATO members involved, so we gotta get involved too. But eventually, the scriptures tell us that eventually the 10 horns, they're gonna hate the whore. So it's gonna happen. Verse 6. Revelation 17, verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Verse 17, for the Most High Power Yahweh hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, and to the words of the Most High Power Yahweh shall be fulfilled. So eventually, even Babylon's own allies are going to turn against them. Germany ain't forgot about what happened to them after World War II, and they ain't forgot. Yeah, they ain't forgot all them bombings and shit, like the bombing of Dresden. They ain't forgot that, and they ain't forgot Nord Stream pipeline bombing and shit, which was done by the U.S. Biden himself admitted. Well, Biden himself said there will be no Nord Stream. You know, if Russia invades Ukraine, what happened? Russia invaded Ukraine. So the U.S. denies it, but you could clearly see that it was the U.S. that did that. To keep keep Europe dependent on U.S. gas, which is more expensive, and that's an act of war right there too. The Nord Stream bombing. They ain't forgot. And also, they've been talking about a draft. It's like it. They've been talking about a draft. If there's a draft, well, now they would have a reason to draft. If the U.S. gets involved in that war, then there's a reason right there to draft. And this would also fulfill this scripture. Come on, quit playing with me. It's in Joel. Maybe it's not spelled that way. Fucking assholes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's at exactly, so I have to look it up. We'll Google it. Joel 2:20. Joel 2:20. But I'll remove far from you the northern army, and I'll drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and his inner part towards the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. That's how that could happen. Northern army, that's the U.S. army. Because the land of the north, let me get land of the north. No, wait. Hold on. That shit. Jeremiah 3 and 8. In those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. And the land of the north, that's Babylon the Great. Pursuant to Jeremiah 50, I think it's verse 22. Nah, it's verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. So the children of Israel and the children of Judah are oppressed together. And this is talking about Babylon, as you could tell by the next verse. Verse 34, the Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. So Babylon's the land in the north. So the Babylonian army, aka the U.S. army, because only the U.S. fits this. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Where? In the U.S. So, no more proof that the U.S. is Babylon. But, basically, hold on. Yeah, more proof that the U.S. is Babylon. And, so the land in the north, the northern, where the children of Israel and the children of Judah are going to be gathered from, that's North America. That's in North America. That's the U.S. And, Joel 2 and 20, like St. Joel 2 and 20. But I'll remove far from you the northern. Oh, it's spelled different. The northern. That's why it wasn't showing up. And will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with its face towards the east sea, and its inner part towards the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. But with that, yeah, there's nothing else to bring out. But with that, I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Shalom, stay strong. Ababa Ball, that's of Babylon, which is the U.S. Abala Gawayum, that's who. Abala Adamamium, dead to these Edomites. Abala Gawayum, dead to these other nations. Wa and Abala Yagam Nawa, dead to our enemies, the rest of them being 2/3 of these so-called black people, Latinos, Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners / or aka speckled birds here in the States, here in Babylon, as well as the wicked Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth. Shalom, stay strong. We almost out of here. Ababa Ball, Yasharallah forever.